You're welcome to today's broadcast on Woman to Woman Lifter. It's a platform for mentoring. I want to welcome you to this series on your role as a pastor's wife, your role as a minister's wife. This should be the 7th series on this topic. I want to talk on being hospitable. As a pastor's wife, minister's wife, you've got to be hospitable. You've got to be hospitable. You've got to, take good care of people who come into your home. Of course, as a pastor, several people will be attracted to the servant of God, and even to you. They want to come to the house. They want to visit you. They want to stay around and enjoy the comfort of your home. I will take my text from 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. It says, a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, and apt to teach. Given to hospitality. If your husband, the pastor, is given to hospitality, it means you're, as a wife, you just have to, do the same. You have to be hospitable. Apart from being a pastor's wife, you're a Christian. The Bible talks about being hospitable in 1 Peter chapter 4, 8 to 10. And also Hebrews chapter 13 verse 2 says we should entertain strangers. There are several scriptures in the Bible that talks about being hospitable. And so as a pastor's wife, there's no reason why you should not be hospitable. You just have to, work on yourself to be accommodating. Learn to receive people, learn to receive guests, learn to accommodate church members who come into the house. Sometimes they are strangers, complete strangers, people you don't know anything about. They have come to see your husband, maybe for counseling, for prayers, and you just have to make provision for them to have a place to stay in. It is not like these days when you have guests and you don't want to keep them in your home, you take them to the hotel. But the time I married, it wasn't so. We don't think about hotel when you have visitors. You keep them in your home. You keep visitors in your home. But the age we are in, people take guests to the hotel. It doesn't used to be so. As at the time we started ministry, any visitor that comes, they stay in the home. They stay in our home. And except maybe there's a special program and you have to keep those people in the hotel. But when there's no special program, anybody coming, you can just be sure that they are going to stay with you, and you just have to prepare. Whether you have food or not, it doesn't really matter. All your husband knows is that he will tell you, I'm expecting a guest, I'm expecting somebody, and then the rest is for you to think on, to figure it out. To figure out how to take care of that guest. So, entertain visitors, make them comfortable as much as you can. Feed them based on what you have. Nobody is telling you to go and borrow what to feed your visitors with as they come, what you have in the house. Give to them. I remember many years ago, it was like we didn't have so much in the house, and I finished cooking the last meal with the hope that the following day, God will help us to be able to get some more food stuff in the house. And as soon as I finished cooking, a visitor just came in. He came from Kaduna, and as soon as he entered the house, he said, wow. As if you knew I was really hungry, that I'm perceiving there is food in this house, and my stomach is really ready to take in some food. And I heard him. I was in the kitchen, and I heard his voice saying all that while he was with my husband. I said, oh my God, what do I do now? And I've finished serving the food in the plates for everybody to pick. So what I did, I had to return the food from the plate into the pot, and then I now brought another plate to serve our guests. I allowed them to eat first, and whatever remained was what we now, earth will manage to eat. So sometimes visitors come and you don't really have what to serve. Don't get distressed. Just serve what you have and apologize. Oh, so sorry. This is what I can afford to serve you now, and do it joyfully. Do it joyfully. You know, the joy on your face is enough to make the person comfortable and make the person relaxed in your home. So, you know, when visitors come, my children got so used to it that anybody coming into the house, they know that this bed, I'm not lying on it today. They just know that the bed for that night will be vacated. And nobody have to tell them. I don't have to tell them, vacate your bed. No, they already know. So they will just quietly vacate their bed and pick extra mattresses, sleep anywhere. You know, they are so used to it that even up till now, when they come for convention, they are not looking for bed to lie on because they know that there are several visitors in the house. They have gotten so used to it that they themselves have become, you know, hospitable. You know, when you make your children go through go through all that, you know, making sacrifices for guests, for visitors, they get so used to it, you know, they grow into it, and by the time they get married, you know, they live it. It becomes part of them, you know. A lady was sharing with me that somebody visited my daughter and was speaking so well about her that she's very, very hospitable and all that. So I was not sharing with my daughter, this is what this person said about you, that you're very, you say, Mom, is it not from you? We learned it, you know. So they grew into it, and then it became part of them. So there are people that will come and you just have to sacrifice your comfort. And when they come, you need to feel for them to be able to make them as comfortable as possible. What do they need in the home? You are putting them in the room. You want to be sure everything is there. It's just like the Shunammite woman, you know, who prepared for God's prophet in her home. She knew that the prophet of God will need a room, we need a chair, we need a table, we need a bed, we need a lamp. And, you know, that's how you just imagine what your guest will need. And then you imagine what your guest will need. Just as you too will visit another home, and then you know what you need when you visit such home. So when people visit your home, you'll imagine what the people will need, and you make them available for your guests so that they can be as comfortable as possible. I pray that God will help you. Sometimes we are so afraid when we hear that visitors are coming because you don't have what to serve. You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be stressed. Just pray that God, let what I'm going to serve be acceptable. Let the person appreciate it. Your prayer is alone to make the person appreciate what you are going to serve. And then, you know, receive them with joy, with gladness, and, you know, do everything possible to ensure that they are happy in your home. That's exactly what God expects us to do without grumbling. Sometimes we grumble when people are coming. I remember there was a time when we were on break from the office, and I was so happy I was going to have a very good rest from all the laboring and running around. I was going to rest, and a man of God called my husband and said he was coming with his family for a holiday. I said, oh my God, see me, I've just received an holiday, and I wish I could use my holiday to rest and relax. And another person is coming to spend his own holiday in my own, which means I will not have the holiday anymore. I will not rest. I will have to take care of them. And I was so disturbed within me. I said, what do I do? But I couldn't do anything about it than to pray that God, give me the grace. In the first place, I was troubled that why should I be feeling uncomfortable that a guest is coming? Why should I feel uncomfortable? I was beginning to feel guilty for feeling uncomfortable that a guest was coming. I had to go to God to pray about it. I said, God, Why should I be feeling uncomfortable when I am supposed to receive guests with joy? And had to be praying that God should forgive me for having such feelings. So by the time I visited another minister's wife in her home, that particular period, I just decided to visit her. And as soon as I got into her home, she said, "Oh, do you know how I'm feeling now? I feel like running away from this house. Go somewhere and rest. That so many visitors in the house, and she really wants to rest." You mean you have such feelings? You know, I was so surprised. I thought it was just me having that kind of feeling. I didn't know that another minister's wife could have such a feeling. And so when she expressed herself, I became calm, and it relieved me of that burden. I was relieved. And from then, I realized that I could pray for grace. I could pray for grace to be able to take care of my guests and make them comfortable. My prayer for you this morning is that you will not be stressed to a point where you will no longer want people in your home, to a point that you will not want to receive guests and visitors in your home. Receive that grace in the name of Jesus. God bless you. There'll be a number on the screen. If you have any question, please, you can send your question to that number and you will receive response. God bless you.